I basically walked into my boss's office and said, make me an offer to leave. Started my company with my 401k, just pulled it all out. I didn't have an asset to provide to get a loan. Started it with nothing and grew it. For the first time, I wasn't okay. So I had to recognize and accept, like, you know what? It's okay to not be okay.
Building a business is hard. Starting it's easy actually, but growing it is hard.
Yes.
And then sustaining the growth is even harder.
You just breathe, get through it.
Yeah.
It's okay to not be okay.
Yep.
This is happening for you, not to you.
When a problem happens, we are it. We don't have an escalation point to go. Like
No.
our people can go to us,
Right.
but we don't have anyone else. Unlike I remember when I was in corporate America, I have a problem, I call my boss.
Yep.
Now they call me.
Right.
I don't have anyone to call. I mean, we have mentors and whatnot, but at the end of the day, you still have to decide on it, solve the problems.
Definitely more independence. I'm able to travel.
Yes.
I could still leave in the middle of my day and go pick up my daughter if I need to, things like that. It shows my daughter how, being determined and persistent, that, you can be successful no matter what you're going through.
Do you ever wonder how successful entrepreneurs built their businesses from scratch? Are you unsure if starting a business is for you? Well, tune in as we discuss how successful entrepreneurs transform their ideas into reality. Welcome back to From Zero to Revenue with your host, Chris Yap.
Welcome to my podcast show, From Zero to Revenue. This is the show that features the journey of successful entrepreneurs on how they transform their ideas into revenue. I'm super excited for our guest today, fellow EO member. I'd say one of the faces of EO Arizona. Please welcome CEO and founder of Infinity Insurance Partner, Jessica Loomis.
Hi, everybody. Thank you
I'm
for
so-
having me.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you here, Jessica. I know we've kind of scheduled this like a month or 2 months ago. I know we're all busy, but I'm just happy you're here.
I'm excited to be here.
So, Jessica, tell us a little bit about Infinity Insurance Partners.
Well, I started it about 11 years ago. I was kind of tired of being in the corporate world in insurance. I'd been in it for 15 years. And I basically walked into my boss's office and said, make me an offer to leave. And I had a 4-year-old daughter at the time and I knew I could just do it better. So started Infinity Insurance Partners and we've grown tremendously. And we focus mainly on commercial insurance. We do some personal lines for our clients. And it's been amazing. And I just love the people I work with and I enjoy it every day.
That's amazing. I know, Jessica, you've got quite a bit of competition out there in the market, right? But
Oh, yes.
what's making your customers choose you over competitors? I could answer that myself, but I'll let you answer that.
Definitely service. We try to make things, we know how urgent things can be in a business owner's life. And so we try to turn things around as quickly as possible for our clients. We will pick up the phone when you call and we will respond to emails usually in less than 24 hours.
Yes, I know that because I am a client.
Yes.
But about 6 months now or
Yes.
so. And it's just amazing. The transition I had from my previous provider to you guys is like within a day. Sometimes like within minutes I get a response like from Karen,
Yes.
from you, from Karen. So that's an amazing differentiator to service. It is a service industry. There are options, but I think when you have that, when you provide that customer experience like what you've provided us, it's so easy to come back and grow that. Like
Yes.
we were talking just today, we're going to be transferring other stuff to you guys. And it's that experience you've provided us. So for those of you who are looking for commercial insurance, Jessica is your person here.
Thank you.
But no, that's great. I know you mentioned earlier that when you started, you went to your boss and you just said, you're basically going and you want to do it in a better way. What's your background before the insurance world, or has insurance been like your industry since?
Yeah, since I was
After-
the youngest. Yeah.
Yes.
I started selling insurance when I was 20 years old.
Okay.
I started in a call center with Liberty Mutual,
Mm.
selling home and auto insurance.
Awesome.
That was an amazing experience. I really grew up there, and they actually paid for college, which was amazing. Thank you, Liberty Mutual.
That's so cool.
I know, right? Didn't have any debt like a lot of people right now. And I actually got promoted to they had a commercial division, and as soon as I got my degree, it was amazing. I got promoted to their commercial insurance division, and I didn't know anything about commercial insurance. They basically just gave me a spreadsheet and a phone and said start dialing. So I really learned that whole process and how to do that, and realized that people don't pick up their phone. So I asked my boss, hey, can I start door knocking? And he's like, yeah, go for it. So I started just dropping by places, bringing people donuts, dropping my card off. And that's how I was able to grow my book of business with Liberty pretty quickly. And then I actually ended up moving back to New Mexico. Liberty Mutual moved me there. And I kind of saw some writing on the wall. All of a sudden, I wasn't renewing my accounts with Liberty Mutual, wasn't sure what was going on. And so I started interviewing with brokerages, which I've never done that before. Liberty at that point was like a captive, like a State Farm or an American Family. And so I went to Hub International, which they're pretty big, and I worked there for 5 years. But 3 months into my employment with Hub, Liberty Mutual sold their book of business to Hub. So they split it between Arthur J. Gallagher, Hub International, and USI. So I actually got my clients back.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And so I was with Hub for 5 years and got an offer to go work for Aon. And Aon's like the largest insurance broker in the world. They're global. If anyone knows Manchester United, you'll see Aon on their jerseys. And I was there for 9 months, and it wasn't the best experience. And so that's when I was like, if I am going to do this, let's do it now. Let's just start my own business. And so that's when I walked in there and I said, hey, make me an offer to leave. I know they were miserable too. It just wasn't a good match. And so started my company with my 401k, just pulled it all out.
Wow,
and
that is brave.
yeah. Well, I mean, it was like, what else? No one was going to give me a loan for I didn't have an asset, right? I didn't have an asset to provide to get a loan. So yeah, started it with nothing and grew it.
What was obviously with your experience, it's almost like a natural transition to have your own, but what specifically were the problems that you wanted to solve?
What I found being, especially with Aon, is they definitely sell you on this idea that they have all of these great additional services that they can provide. What they don't tell you is they charge you for them. So it's not free, right? Same with Hub. They would say we have all these great services that we can provide, but it was hard to get access to them. They would say they were free, but it's really only for the bigger accounts. And so I would just kind of sit there and say, well, that's unfair, right? Like I just sold this client on all these services, and now I find out that they're more, you're going to charge them $50,000
Right.
additional to their insurance premiums. And so I knew I could offer certain platforms from an internet, a lot of the stuff they would provide was online based anyway. And I was very familiar with the product. So I just went out there and and now we just offer them. That we don't charge for them.
That's amazing. I could just imagine the delight of clients.
Yeah.
Because obviously, as a client, I don't know much about insurance. All I know is I need coverage,
Right.
and it's almost like going to an auto mechanic, like just get it done, and you don't really look under the hood and see
Right.
what's really wrong. That's kind of how I see insurance. But I'm
Yeah.
just happy that people like you do exist. Who actually care for the customers, and obviously I've felt it as a client. Um, you also started a new company not too long ago, InsurAssist.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So obviously I've been in the industry for a very long time. Insurance agencies and brokers, we are a little slow to technology and different ways of doing things. I was kind of hesitant at first to utilize people internationally, but we needed help. And I went ahead and went with what we call the big providers of support from a virtual assistant standpoint. And those are Patra and Resource Pro. And so we went the route of Patra, and the experience was pretty exhausting. We spent 6 months onboarding with Patra to understand their processes and procedures and how they do things. And once we got them onboarded, we were having them do what we call policy checking and certificates of insurance. And about 2 months in, as you know, our level of service, right? It was not certificates. I was up at 3 a.m. issuing certificates. And part of the issue was that what they do is if you don't do things exactly how they want you to from a request standpoint and a format standpoint, it won't get done. And so then they're all sitting in an inbox back to my account managers to do things exactly how Patra wanted them done in order for us to get that certificate issued. And I'm like, oh, this can't happen. We have clients and contractors and people that have loans closing. And if the certificates aren't getting issued in time, they don't get that job. They don't get their loan closed. And so I was like, oh, we can't do this. So I reached out to a mutual friend of mine, and I hired 2 virtual assistants through them, and I started training them. And my COO obviously was pretty upset because part of the issue there was she just spent over 8 months getting on Patra onboarded.
Yep.
And so essentially what we ended up doing is after about a year and a half, I approached a friend of ours and I said, hey, I would love to start a business where we focus strictly on insurance brokers and provide insurance back office support, but trained insurance back office support and not people that just know how to box check.
Yep.
People that are resourceful, people that can actually issue that certificate of insurance, do the policy checking, and not have to have like a specific format. They can actually ask a question, because that was the other thing. I couldn't talk to the people that were issuing those certificates for us. I couldn't have a verbal conversation, or it was an inbox, an email box that I was communicating with these people. And so having a relationship also with the people that you're working with in whatever country you're working, it makes a huge difference. And that's where InsurAssist was born, was because again, I knew I could do it better, right, than those companies.
Exactly. I love how, as entrepreneurs, this is what I like about us is we're problem solvers.
Yeah.
Like we first you identify them, and then it's not really inventing new stuff. You're just making things better, which is exactly what you're doing with InsurAssist. And I love how, first of all, thank you for using my people.
Yeah.
I'm from the Philippines. I know your team are
Yes.
in the Philippines
They're
as
amazing.
well. I think they really are great for customer service, anything with people interaction, because they're just naturally pleasant, just happy people. Even when they're broke, they're still happy
They care too.
because they care. And I think that's why they're great for customer service, because they have that genuine care. And so obviously that's great. I know when you started that, we were talking about it last year, and I said we're not even competing.
No.
And in fact, I'm just appreciative that you're helping our people over there. So that's great. So talk about, providing value for people. Now you have this in InsurAssist. How critical was finding the right person, whether it's a virtual assistant or an account manager and an operations person? How critical is having the right people as you grow your business?
It's definitely been a struggle finding the right people.
Yes.
What's amazing is I have lost people and they've come back. And so I have 3 people that left, and not always, they were all on decent terms. And then they came back, and it's been fantastic. But you're right. I mean, it's critical. As we talked about, Karen, she was with me pretty much at the start of my business. She left for 2 years, and now she's back. But I knew that the role she was in before was not her role. So for 2 years, I was like, hey, I created this role and I know you'd be perfect for it. And it took 2 years to get her back, but I got her back and she's just killing it.
Yeah.
And obviously you work with her a lot. And so having those people that, first of all, love insurance, because insurance isn't that exciting. And then having those people that just really care and want to help business owners, it's hard to find people that are just that dynamic and really want to help people.
When you hire specific people, do you always hire people, like, do you start them on a specific role that you actually want them to work on, or do you try them out on different roles before you actually move them? Let's say, for example, if you're hiring for like a manager level, do you actually hire someone directly for that management role? Or do you start them somewhere? Is there a transition? In other words,
Right.
What's your people development style?
So I've done it a lot of different ways, right? I think all of us, it's kind of, when we say people are practicing physicians, because they're practicing, right? Yeah. So I feel like I've been a practicing entrepreneur, and you can keep that phrase if you want. But yeah, so and the reason I say that is because I'm constantly trying to find a better way to do things, because I will try it this way and it doesn't work. And then I'll try it this way and that doesn't work. So I'm still trying to find the exact recipe. What I can say is, Karen is, again, a perfect example. She first started as an account manager. And although she liked that role, I don't think that it really brought her a lot of joy. Where I could see when she was helping me on the new business side of things, it really did bring her joy. So, maybe, and that may be like something that we start looking at, what really brings people joy. And then that, that's kind of where we focus. I can tell you that because insurance is such a unique product, you do have to have knowledge. So a lot of times we're trying to find people that have experience, but that's becoming few and far between.
Yeah.
We have kind of a great retirement happening right now. And so I'm trying to find people maybe that have a little bit of experience, let's say like in sales. So, mentoring them on the sales side, and then they'll get their insurance license and we'll go from there. And then like on the service side, I brought in someone that had a little bit of insurance experience, but she's still really green. And then we brought in someone that does have experience. that was working on really large insurance accounts. And she said the reason she was leaving her other job was because she realized she likes the small business. So she'll be your account manager. Her name is Carrie. She's
Carrie.
amazing. And she really does love small business. She doesn't like the big accounts. And then I have an account manager that I know really likes the more complicated, larger accounts. And she also came back. And so we put her working, and she likes to do like the risk management stuff. So she meets with one of my clients every quarter, working with them on safety, making sure that they're implementing stuff that they need to implement. And so she likes that kind of stuff. She likes to meet with the clients in person and things like that.
It goes to show how much of a caring entrepreneur you are, because you are mindful of what this person's gonna like versus just imposing, things to do this and that. And I think that's when you build the culture. Obviously, it starts from the top. And I still believe that there's no replacement for kindness, whether it's personal or business. And I think you're definitely showing that. So I'm glad that you're doing that, and I wanted to really emphasize that in this episode, that especially in today's world,
Right. It's
you
rough
gotta
out
be
there.
kind. it's kind of easy to be kind. It's
Right.
just a matter of choice.
Right.
And
It
you
is.
obviously chose to be kind, to be mindful, because these are human beings. And I love that you're doing that, and I honestly, it shows.
Well, I appreciate that.
Because if you're not like that, your people don't think Karen will be as caring as she is when she deals with us. Because
Right.
she's just probably going to be waiting for a paycheck.
Right. Well, and I think that, it's taken time for me to be more, grow as a leader. I don't think I was like this when Karen and I first started working together. And I think she could potentially attest to that, right? 11 years ago, I was pretty stressed out, right?
Sure.
I was just getting
Me too.
started. Money was tight, and not that it's not always, there are months where it's still a little stressful. I definitely have, I think, evolved as a leader and softened my skills a little bit.
Yeah.
And I, before sending emails, sometimes I'm like, okay,
Really can.
or maybe not, don't send it. Maybe pick up the phone and have a conversation.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that it's coming across the way that you're wanting it to come across. And I just had that experience recently where I was like, I'm not gonna send this email. I'm gonna wait, and then I'm gonna have a conversation with this person because I feel like I know there's some stuff going on with them, and I want to show that I just want her to know that I'm here and I care, and let me know what you need, kind of thing, rather than, hey, you're not doing this right or whatever.
Right.
Sure.
No, again, it's a choice, right? You could have it's easier just to click send, but you took that extra step to kind of step back and wait and be more considerate. And that's kindness to me right there.
But before, I wouldn't have done that.
See? Well, we evolve. We become better.
Exactly.
Not just as business people, but just as human beings.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you're not learning and being better as you grow older, you're stagnating and you're just kind of a waste of oxygen.
That's true.
Have you ever dreamt of really becoming an entrepreneur when you were a kid? Was this kind of like what you envisioned growing up?
No.
No?
I had so many plans. I wanted to be a physical therapist at one point. I wanted to be a nurse at another point. I wanted to be an attorney at another time, but never thought in a million years I'd be doing this.
Did you have any influence, like when you went into insurance? Was there any influence from family members, at least whether the industry or the career?
No.
No.
It's actually a very funny story. I was working in a call center in Tempe back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Tempe was like a call center.
Yes.
like dream, right? And I was working for First USA Bank that eventually became Chase, and in the credit card call center, and a bunch of people were being hired at Liberty Mutual's call center. And one of my friends came up to me and said, "Hey, if you get hired at Liberty Mutual, I get $1,000 and I'll split it with you." So I was like, okay, why not? So I got a job at Liberty Mutual selling home and auto insurance for $500.
Well, it's the adventure,
Right?
and sometimes it's like, and a lot of times it's not like how things turn out to be as you envision them. But the thing is, you grab whatever opportunity comes your way, and I think as entrepreneurs, that's really what we do. But it's a blessing and a curse because as entrepreneurs, because we love to solve problems, it's easy for us to get distracted as well, right?
Yes.
And I've been in so many routes where it's a great opportunity. I kind of get sucked into it and said, wait, this is my main business. It's like so far now. So that was my struggle, like saying no. But I think I guess you got to strike that balance. Like, obviously, if you just kept saying no, you wouldn't have found InsurAssist.
It's true.
And there's a huge demand for that. And I know your business is growing in a short
Fast.
amount of
Yes.
time. And I really think, and again, that's just an example of it's a smart decision. You said yes to the right thing.
Right. Well, I got a LinkedIn message today. Hey, do you want to be a Bloom growth coach? I was like, no. I'm like, I got way too much on my plate right now.
I know. Again, it's the hardest now, I think, for me is just saying no. Because so many great opportunities, great ideas come up. And I mean, I just said no to someone like last week, but I still think about it.
Right.
But then it's like, no, you got to stop.
Gotta focus. Yeah.
You
I mean, I would love to do something else, but everyone's always like, when do you have the time? I'm like,
Yeah.
you're right. I'm already doing 3 major things, on top of them on the board, VO. So then you're
Exactly.
like, okay, so I have like 3 jobs. Right now.
Honestly, you're so active in EO. It is another job.
It is.
Except you don't get paid. But again, that's, I guess, in the spirit of service. I mean,
I enjoy it.
you enjoy it, and you just make it more fun for people around.
Oh, I appreciate that.
No, absolutely. I mean, in my experience, I'll be honest, I don't look forward to seeing everyone. There are just really certain people I'm excited to see, and you're definitely one of them.
Oh, thank you.
So, what's next now? Like, you've got 2 companies. InsurAssists is growing. Infinity. I don't think there's such thing as autopilot because you're still in the thick of it.
I'm the main salesperson right now.
Yeah. So what's like? How does 5 years look like? What's your BHAG?
My BHAG is I want to hit 4 million in revenue. I want to have a sales team.
Okay.
I would really love. I've always my dream has always been able to uplift some people and get them to a point from a sales, being able to sell like me and just really dial it in and help them grow their book. To the point now where I have entertained, giving them ownership just to kind of give them a piece of the pie and that motivation. And so I've brought on 3 people, and so I'm going to start mentoring them. They all officially start on October 6th. And some of them are already kind of working with us, kind of getting things set up. But I mean, my goal is really to have a sales team. And I think my mistakes in the past there have been giving them the business So like anything I had coming in, I would
pass
just
it on.
hand it off to
Oh,
them.
yeah.
And so then they got really
Get used to it.
lazy.
Yeah.
And so then it was like, okay, but you're not bringing, you're closing the one, you're helping close, well, some of the deals that I will give you, but you're not going out and getting new stuff. And so I'm just trying to kind of change that school of thought that I like would just kind of give them the business, because that's, no one ever did that for me.
Yeah.
And realizing that they've got to learn how to go out and hunt. And so that's how it's going to be different this time. And so I want to have a sales team. And then at some point, I've gone back and forth. Do I sell? But I think I really kind of want to try to explore something like an ESOP,
Okay.
so that I can give ownership
Yeah.
to my employees, and so that would be kind of exciting for me, to give, 50% of the company, or, to my employees. So sell them 50%, or however that works. I've never actually done an ESOP before, but that would be, rather than giving it, selling
Yeah.
it to a big organization. I don't know. I've been kind of mulling that over in my head right now.
It
lately.
sounds like that's obviously the mindset there is to motivate, to reward, obviously share the blessings, but money is such a big deal, obviously, because no one's going to do anything for you for free. But at the same time, you're mindful of, like, you got to balance it. Instead of just giving leads, let them find their own. If you're going to look back 5 years ago, would you say your BHAG 5 years ago is where you're at right now?
No, definitely not.
Okay, so way short, a little short, or you exceeded it?
I'm definitely short. I've definitely had some setbacks.
Okay.
I bought an insurance agency, and it didn't go well.
I'm familiar.
So, yes, you are. So, I think I'd be probably close to the revenue that I wanted to be at.
Okay.
I think my goal for 4 million, I think I'd already be there.
Yeah.
So things like that. But, I also think that my experience of, losing that agency and everything else that went along with it, had helped me grow as a person, helped me budget better, helped me, just lots of different things. So, as people say, sometimes setbacks are a blessing.
Yes.
It was, a blessing and a curse.
No, absolutely. And I was going to ask you, like, with the challenges that specific challenge that you had, which is a major one. What were like the key learnings? I know budgeting was one, but I guess attitude wise, virtues wise, what came out of it? What did you learn out of it?
I think the biggest one, and thanks Todd Palmer, the biggest one would be that things happen for you, not to you. That was a big one. That's one of Todd's big sayings. Another one is, for the longest time in my whole life, I've always been, everything's great, everything's good. And, not only was I struggling with business stuff, I was struggling with family, my daughter, my dad passed. It was just like this whole like mountain of things were going on for that whole 2 years. And for the first time in my life, I wasn't great. And when you're interacting with people, you feel like you have to like say good or great, and you have to put on this like happy face, like, yeah, everything's good. And for the first time, I wasn't okay. And, so I had to recognize and accept, like, what, it's okay to not be okay.
What was the mindset for you to go through that? Because it's got to be really tough.
Oh yeah.
With, I mean, without saying them, but I know what you went through. What was your mindset like? Was it like, I'm doing this for myself, doing this for my daughter, I can't fail? What was in your head, like, just to keep going and not drowning yourself with
Right.
alcohol,
Laying
or
in the
anything?
fetal position
Yeah,
because
exactly.
that's really what I wanted to do. There was
yeah.
like a lot of days where I just like, I
Uh-huh.
just want to lay here
Yeah.
and crawl up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, my daughter's always been,
Mm-hmm.
a big driving force, and just, I have never been a quitter,
Mm-hmm.
and I've always been determined. And so failure to me was not an option.
Absolutely. So, and the reason why I asked that is because we know that building a business is hard. Starting it's easy actually, but growing it is hard.
Yes.
And then sustaining the growth is even harder. That's why there's only what 2%, 2.5% of
That
entrepreneurs
succeed.
that's
Yeah.
past like 8 years in
Yeah.
existence,
Yeah.
because it's hard.
Yes.
And I think you hit it right on the nose, what you just described there, which is persistence.
Yep.
That's why I tell my friends who are trying to or looking to starting a business, and then they're asking me for tips on how they can be motivated. I tell them, if I need to motivate you, don't do it.
That's true.
Because motivation, it vanishes like
Yes.
instantly. But if you're committed, you don't need to be motivated.
Correct.
So it's that thing, right? Like, we have a lot of audience here who are starting their businesses, and I think that's a major takeaway that I'd get from what you just said is nothing's going to be easy, because you've been doing this for over 10 years, and challenges, if any, challenges actually gets harder because you're bigger.
Yes.
The challenges you've had when you're making $500,000 a year to when you're making $4 million a year, it's completely different.
Correct.
The magnitude is just different. And if you don't develop that muscle for persistence, you're not going to make it. It's easier to quit,
It is.
because I've had many of those moments too. But again, when you're committed to your mission, like in your case, I would imagine you have that hunger to serve, just to make insurance experience better for people. And I would imagine that was a major anchor for you when you were going through the challenges you've had in the last 2 years, and then couple that with your dad passing away, and it all happening same time. I don't know
Yeah.
how you did it.
Right. And my daughter, So, yeah, I mean, it was, we just had so many like things happen all at once. Yeah. The anxiety, the stress, it just, yeah. And just, you just breathe, get through it.
Yeah.
It's okay to not be okay.
Yep.
This is happening for you, not to you.
Exactly. But the thing is, the challenges, the problems as entrepreneurs, like when a problem happens, we are it. We don't have an escalation point to go. Like,
No.
our people can go to us,
Right.
but we don't have anyone else. Unlike, I remember when I was in corporate America, I have a problem, I call my boss.
Yep.
Now they call me.
Right.
I don't have anyone to call. I mean, we have mentors and whatnot, but at the end of the day, you still have to decide on it, solve the problems.
Exactly.
Sure, that's one side, because I don't want to paint the picture that it's all gloom and problem,
No.
but
Well, look, I started another business.
exactly,
If it was
right? So my question is, what has entrepreneurship done for you and your family?
Definitely more independence. I'm able to travel.
Yes.
I'm able to, make my own hours. It doesn't mean that I'm not sometimes working 60, 70 hours a week. But, I could still leave in the middle of my day and go pick up my daughter if I need to, things like that.
Yeah.
And I think it also, it just gives you a little, at least for me, a sense of accomplishment. And then also it shows my daughter how, being determined and I don't know, persistent.
Yeah.
That, you can be successful no matter what you're going through.
Yeah.
She saw all those struggles and she was part of those struggles for herself, for our family. And so, we persevered. And so, I think there's a lot of satisfaction knowing, hey, like we got through it all.
Yeah.
And we came out at the end to better people.
Well, and I think what your daughter would see as well is, obviously, I'm sure, how old's your daughter again?
15.
I'm sure she appreciates your flexibility in time, the freedom to be able to travel, to be able to afford. I think she was playing guitar.
Yeah, she plays bass.
She plays bass, to do things like that. For a lot of families, it's a luxury. But when you're an entrepreneur and you make it to a certain point, you can afford this freedom, not just money, but time.
Right.
Which really, as we get older, time is a more valuable asset. And when you're an entrepreneur, it's the only profession, one of the very few where you can make money while you're asleep. Aside from being an investor, right?
Right. Yeah. It's true.
But I love that. What advice would you give to entrepreneurs who are maybe going through what you went through, like just major challenge? Obviously persistence is one, but what advice would you give them?
Surround yourself with people that can guide you through it. I definitely, if I had not had the people I had around me and were able to talk to people about it, and struggled internally about everything that was going on, that would have been even more difficult, I think. I had a coach through a full year of a lot of that, Todd Palmer. I had my EO forum, and I just surrounded myself with people that I felt that I could be safe and have those hard conversations with, and still get up in the morning and go to the gym and continue your routine, because if you don't, then you're just going to be trapped in your head trash, right?
Yeah, your sorrow.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. Well, we are at the end of our show. Jessica, this has been amazing. But before I let you go, what would be the best way to get a hold of you for people who wants to, change their provider for commercial insurance?
There you go.
or get a virtual assistant from you for their insurance business?
Their insurance needs.
What's the best way to get a hold of you?
You can email me at jessicaL@infinityinspart.com or jessicaL@InsurAssists.com. And that's InsurAssists. It's really .com. Or find me on LinkedIn, Jessica Loomis. That's probably the best way to get a hold of me.
Yeah.
It'd probably be the easiest. Jessica Loomis on LinkedIn, Infinity Insurance Partners.
Awesome. Well, I wish you all the best, Jessica. And again, thanks for being with us here today. I'm sure our audience got a lot of nuggets of wisdom. I did.
Oh, good.
So this has been an amazing episode. Thanks again, Jessica.
Thank you.
So, guys,
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Again, this is Chris Yap, your host of the podcast show From Zero to Revenue. Until next time.